Hello, good evening, welcome to UPfront. The lifeless body of Dr. UPfront, who drowned last Monday, has been found and retrieved from the Peshi Lagoon near Teshi in Accra. The body was found today by some fishermen after many hours of search. Dr. UPfront is a physician who recently finished her housemanship. She was returning home from an evening church service when the Hyundai Ascent saloon car, which she was driving, was washed away by the floodwaters at the Teshi Demo Bridge. She is survived by a husband and a 15-month-old child. This evening, there are those who already suggested that there is a state-sponsored murder in some form in this case, to the nation's deliberate shaking of its responsibilities to this woman. Some are even pushing the buttons further and insisting the family should drag the state to court for their actions or inactions that led to the demise of such a young, bright, and prosperous soul. We'll take a minute and acknowledge her by giving her a befitting burial, as is what happens all the time, where many will gather to deliver heart-rending eulogies, and these tributes will come from politicians and those in authority. I'm sure this refrain will not depart their lips, never again. But this will be repeated until the next disaster. I'm also sure that Dr. Aya's family, on the other side, all that they wanted was a wife and a mother back home to their lovely home. A dream that looks like an impossibility now. Today, I'm apologizing on behalf of the right-thinking members of this society who knows truly well that we all head down. The politicians, the city authorities, those who could have built a better bridge, prevented the flooding, and saved this young, vibrant gem. After this break, I'll commence with our conversation. Then I'll introduce you my guest for another conversation, which unfortunately may not be the last word to end all wars of all needless, avoidable deaths when it comes to flooding in this country. You're welcome back. My name is Raymond Akwa, and this is UPfront. Now, my guest today is a Deputy Minister in the Ministry of Works and Housing. The Honorable Eugene Boachenchi is also a Member of Parliament. Honorable, you're welcome to UPfront.
Thank you.
I hope you're doing well today.
I'm great, yes.
I mean, let me start from the rather unfortunate story that was heard today. That doctor who, like many, wanted to go home after a very hard day's work and having to serve her maker, but she couldn't make it home. She got drowned along the line, and the body has been found today.
First of all, let me say good evening to our esteemed viewers and my constituency in Subeng, if you're watching it. It's most unfortunate, and I have to, first of all, on behalf of government and the people of Ghana, express my deepest sense of sympathy and condolence with the family of the late Dr. Anya. Secondly, our thoughts and prayers are with the family. It's most unfortunate. I mean, any loss of Ghanaian life is most unfortunate. Be it flooding, be it an accident on the road, name it, it's most unfortunate. So that's what I've got to say on the matter.
I want us to dive in straight away. What are government's plans, I mean, even beginning of the year, to curb this perennial flooding problem? That makes it difficult for us to discuss it without using the word perennial, because that's really what it is.
It is, yes. So you have to say it as it is. First and foremost, government has committed monies to various projects across the capital city and other areas of Ghana. We started with about 3 months ago by desilting major drains such as the Odo Kole Lagoon, the Nima drain behind the Hotel Paloma, the South Kaneshi drain, the Sukura drain. Unfortunately, I think that's where Dr. Anya lost her life. Kaneshi First Light, stroke Odoko drain, among others. We are also going to excavate and desil South Kaneshi drain, then issue downstream Teshi drains, Frafraha, Oblogo main drain, Kwabinya drain, and drains and others. In the regions, we have Kumasi the Chamsu drain, Kumasi Abu Abu drain, Takradi Kwesimintin drain, Cape Kusoli Child area drain, Kufudria drain. So there's a lot of desilting and excavation, going on across the country. But it's unfortunate Dr. Anya met a timely death. But in terms of commitment from government, about 200 million Ghana cedis has been committed to this project. 5 million towards the silting, 195 million towards excavation project, which was to commence very shortly, I think just after the rains, because these involve concrete and what have you, and because of the downpour of rain, you cannot be working, you know, dealing with cement and stuff like that. So that's what government has done. I also talk about, even in Accra, the North Industrial Area Drain, the South Industrial Area Drain, Adenta Drain, La Paz Drain, Dobe Market Drain, Nungwa Drain, Taifa Drain, Santa Maria Drain, New Ningud Culvert and Drain, West Legon Pipe Drain, Takrady Efia Drain, Kasua. You can tell across the length and breadth of Ghana that we've identified drains, and about the whopping 194.5 million Ghana cedis, you know, for the construction of major drains across our country has been earmarked by government. And that is where we are. So the commitment is there. Monies have been put to it. It's not like we are doing politics with it. Money has been, serious monies have been committed to it. In addition to a 17.5 million that's already gone, and a 20 million that's gone, and another 5.5 million. So in total, it's getting up to 300 million.
Okay, I get your point. When all of these drains that you mentioned, and there seem to be many of them across the country, and more importantly in the capital city, are they being desilted? Have they been desilted, or they are under construction?
No, I told you, Evans, Richard, Raymond. Let's separate the two. One is the silting. That's what you do before the rain starts.
Okay.
That's different. The excavation is also what you do after the rain. Because you see, if in the course of heavy rains, you cannot send contractors to site because of the stuff they use in cement, sand, what have you.
Okay.
And so that's where we are at. So let's, for the benefit of viewers, the silting started 3 months ago in major parts of it. I've told you, I mean, you know, you are in Accra, so I can give you the areas. You can go and check for yourself that the Kaneshi Obechebi Lamte circle, that drain has been deserted about 3 months ago, right? Deserted and dredged, right?
Okay.
Alaju, Kwame Nkrumah circle, and many other areas. The construction of major drains in flood-prone areas, for example, Mataheko and Odono, about 70% completed. Okay. So it's, what I'm trying to say is that we must not confuse viewers. There are two different things. Desilting is what you desilt to allow a free flow passage of water into the main lagoon or the main rivers. And then excavation is when after, it's something that you should have probably taken place before the rainy season. But unfortunately, you know, there were no monies to commit. But then after a few months into the year, begin around March, April, you know, serious monies were committed to these projects, and they've been ongoing. You know, these are projects that have been awarded. You drive through Accra, you see major construction taking place. You see areas, Kaneshi area, for example, the diversion of all these small drains to the main Odo River and what have you. Go to Kole Lagoon, the Kole Lagoon, dredge masters are there working. So, but I think the flooding due to the heavy downpour late Monday night, early Tuesday, dawn of Tuesday, is down to the rising sea level.
Okay, so I'll come to what the real reasons behind that's supposed to be. But there was a question on the drains, and maybe let me even shelve that. Let's deal with what happened 2 days ago. Is it extraordinary? Was it anticipated? Did we estimate that this huge percentage or quantum of rain will be falling within the period that we're at?
Yes, we are in Ghana. Everybody, every Ghanaian, unless of course you know you're a stranger in this country, we know that right from April, depending on which region you find yourself in, because I personally grew up in the Western region, so I know that right from April to about September, constant rains. Even when you go to the Axim area, it's almost you know.
I get your point, but I'm saying that
please. The conversation is not about us; it's about the viewers. Please.
I get your
so
point.
Sometimes let me finish my sentences before you come back. Well, if we do that, then you cut me off stream, and then you come back again, please.
I have no difficulties with letting you finish.
So let
I actually was under the impression that you had done so.
Sure.
Okay, so please make the point.
Yes, the point is that you are asking a question, I'm trying to answer, and you are trying to cut me off and introduce another element. So I haven't even addressed that question. And I haven't doing you are doing the viewers any favors, Raymond. Let me answer. We live in a country, we know that the rains are upon us between April and say maybe August. So government will take steps, and that's what I told you that 3 months ago, we started all the desilting, right? Because we're expecting the rains to fall. That was the government preparedness towards the flooding. We've done all that, but because of the heavy downpour, because the rain, for the last 2 months, we have serious rains for about 15 times, but Accra hasn't flooded. Accra only flooded after the late Monday and dawn of Tuesday rainfall. I'm saying that it's down to the rising sea level. So that's the reason for it. Nothing more than that. We have done everything, but it's the rain. If it rains, the sea will rise. And with the sea rise, the waters from the Door Lagoon or what have you cannot get into the river or into the sea, and that is why we experience these floods, especially in Adabraka, where majority of the places got flooded. But if government had not taken steps, we know that Accra would have been flooded by now. Every part of Accra. We saw it in 2015. Yes, because the preparedness wasn't there. But we've prepared. We've done all the basic things to prevent flooding. But of course, this is nature. You can't help nature. I mean, if it rains, it rains. And if it rains, our concern is to protect life and property. So, I mean, I think you have to bear with us. You have not bear with us, but it's this nature. I mean, we've taken all the necessary steps. I've told you all the major contracts we are doing, the monies that government has devoted to the projects and what have you. So you know the steps we're taking. Thank you.
Okay, so my question really was to do with whether we anticipated the quantum of rainfall that we had on Monday.
It's more or less a repetition of what I've just addressed.
No, sorry.
Because the anticipation is what went into the planning to desal 3 months before the rainfall.
The Ghana Meteorological Agency, Reverend Nyakote Kwao, has said that the quantum of rainfall was not anticipated.
Well, he's speaking as a meteorologist. He's not speaking as Ministry of Works and Housing. So when you introduce that angle into the conversation, it's difficult for me to, say anything. Because he's a meteorologist. He's talking about what he's talking about. We are the sector ministry, and I'm telling you the plans that we've taken. And these plans are for you to see. You're a journalist. I'm also tasking you to drive through Accra tomorrow and go through the areas I've mentioned to you and see if there aren't any construction work going on. So I can't speak about the meteorologist and what he said, but I can tell you that that's the government preparedness towards the impending rains which are upon us now. And so, these actions were taken 3 months ago.
Sorry, I want to be clear. Where does government get information on the quantum of rains that's likely to fall?
Well, you see, I think that is a very pedestrian question, Raymond, and I'm not going to answer. You are being condescending now.
Sorry, I'm asking a simple question.
It's not a simple question. It's very condescending because you are trying to say that we are ignoring what the meteorologists are saying.
I have not stipulated anything to that effect.
You don't have to state it. It's an inference of what you are saying. Because you are trying to say, because that the gentleman who mentioned his name said something that there was no preparedness, I should be going that down.
Indeed, he never stated there was no preparedness.
So what did he say?
I stated, and I'm repeating his words, that we didn't anticipate the quantum of rainfall on that day.
Yes, so
you are insisting that prior to the rainfall, government knew this was going to happen. And I'm asking, what is the source of government's information that is different from that of the meteorological agency?
But an expert speaking about the weather. What does it got to do with the planning? We know that there are key drains in Accra that must be desilted. We've taken that step, we've desilted them. The drains that make Accra flat is what is our concern. It's not what the weather is saying. So we took steps to desilt all these drains to allow free passage of the water. And somebody is saying we did not anticipate. Fair enough. He's a meteorologist. Maybe the meteorologist did not anticipate. But as government, we did all the preparatory work to ensure that lives and properties were protected. So we've done our part. So I don't know where because I didn't listen to it. But I'm trying to tell you that I'm tasking you as a journalist. It's Accra. Just drive around Accra. You send your cameras. You can see ongoing works. You can see the desilting. You can see everything.
I've heard you on 3 different occasions say ongoing works. Is there a single drainage project that's been completed this year?
Anyway, drains are not constructed within a month. It's construction works.
It's been 6 months.
Well, you can say it's a year. You see, we are not going to be stampeded by timelines. We are tackling the issue. Ghanaians lost their lives.
Honorable, you spoke about preparedness. And you said that you are constructing
When
drains.
I say works are ongoing, they are on site. They are working. I'm not saying they are about to go on site. They are working. You go to Kaneshi, Accra Academy is Kaneshi, right? I don't know Accra very well. If you go, you can see a major drain being constructed.
Not
you can
completed.
No, but Evans,
because with a bit of respect,
Raymond,
having a construction
sometimes you see,
doesn't fix the
your
problem.
line of questioning sometimes. I'm sorry. Are we addressing a problem, or we are here to just ask questions?
I am asking
you are trying
questions
to tell
to
me, and
the
I'm trying to tell you that the major areas in Accra that make Accra flat, we've tackled them. And I'm tasking you
and all that you
and your
told me
cameras
is that
to go around.
You dredge in some cases and you are constructing drains in other cases. This government has been in power for more than 15 months. I hope you agree.
I'm listening to you.
I'm asking that question again. Has there been a single drain that's been constructed, completed?
This government has been in power for 60 months, yes.
Yes.
You can say that 100 times till the cows come home. We agree. But this government has taken serious steps to address permanently the flooding situation in Accra. So doesn't matter whether we started 6 months ago, 3 months ago, at least, we are in June. Today is 28th of June. This time, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, properties have been lost, lives have been lost. But this time, we're only talking about an unfortunate one life lost. So you can see that if steps had not been taken, what befell this country on the 3rd of June 2015 would have befallen us by now. So you're not comparing like we like. We deal with statistics, we deal with what we see. I'm trying to tell you that this government took major steps. The president took it upon himself to ensure that we desilt all the main drains in Accra so that we didn't get any flooding. We've done that.
That has not been done before?
You are the journalist, you tell me.
Okay, so in 2016, 2015, if you take the budgets for the year 2016, the ministry reported that they had done drainage in 3 different areas, and the main aim was to make sure that they fix the problem. And the word they used there was, in the interim, the flooding problem, whilst they consider the construction of drains.
Yes, but I think I've answered that question. That is why I told you that 3 months ago, we desilted the drains, the existing drains, to ensure that waters to get access into the sea and not flood back into the capital city. So that question has been addressed.
Okay, so the minister said some months ago, the Honorable Samuel Atachia, that government had a comprehensive roadmap in place to deal with the flooding. Can you just enlighten us on this roadmap?
Now, I've told you about some. I mean, I've told you all that we're doing. All the major drains have been captured in the report I just read out. All the major drains in Accra, I've stated them. Unless you want me to repeat it. Because that's what the minister means by...
That's the roadmap, right? Draining, desilting, and also proceeding to build new drains, which you say you have started in some cases, and that you have also done desilting. The minister also mentioned in some part that there will be excavations. Has it happened?
I mentioned that to you as well.
Yes, you mentioned that you are yet to do it.
Yes, because you see, yes, maybe I have to educate you, maybe, or educate the viewers. There's a two-step process. The government will say, yes, I commit this amount to a project. The Ministry of Finance, because of the introduction of the Public Financial Management Act, will have to issue with a certificate of commencement. 1. 2, once the commencement has been issued, the next step is to proceed based on the thresholds of the contracts to a PPA for approval. Right? When these 2 hurdles have not been cleared, you cannot proceed to work, right? I deem it as unnecessary red tape, but that is where we find ourselves. These are measures that were introduced by the IMF as part of their support program towards the latter part of the John Dramani Mahama's administration. So that is where we are at. So as we speak, the ministry has identified all these projects along the breadth and the length and breadth of Ghana. But we are waiting for the ministry to issue us with a commencement certificate. And once we receive that, which I believe will come shortly, but the commencement has been released to us. So that's why they are out there working. So once we get that, we have to then proceed to PPA based on the threshold of these various contracts. The PPA at that stage, because of the emergency nature of the rains and what have you, we may decide to go apply for sole sourcing so that the contractors can then move to site as opposed to going through the normal PPA process. So all these things are being done. So when I say excavation works haven't started, they haven't started but I can tell you that we have the list of all the areas that we are going to excavate, all the areas we are going to construct. We have all that. But the monies that must be allocated, the commencement certificate from finance has not been issued yet. And we are hoping and praying because it's all down to money. But that is why government took steps to just do the silting and some major drains so that Accra does not, flood, to prepare us for these big monies coming so that we can move into the country and construct all the major drains across the country. And this preparatory work has been done, and a copy can be made available to you to see that we've done it, we've costed it. So it's not like that we are, maybe in 2-3 months down the line, if I'm lucky to appear here again, there'll be lots to talk about. But this is where we're at. So before the government commits funds to a project, if because before the introduction of PMFA, the minister could sit and say, go and construct a drain in Frafraha whilst they do the necessary paperwork in the office. I believe if there was no malice or bad intent, that's the way we should proceed with administration of governance in our country. Because we cannot be seeking to be going to bureaucracy or red tape every day. Unfortunately, we cannot do that now. So if you do that, you are both committing a civil and a criminal offense. So that is why there's this delay in the system. But I can assure you that when I say things are ongoing, they are ongoing because you have to jump one hurdle, that's a finance commencement certificate. You have to go to the second hurdle, which is PPA. Before contract, you can award the contract. You cannot just go ahead and award them like it used to happen before the introduction of PMFA. So this is, we try to explain these things to Ghanaians. But yes, and government, no matter who you are, you cannot, if you go around the law, you'll be charged with a criminal offense and a civil offense. You have to then pay the contractor. Well, finance didn't have money for you to start a project, and you went ahead and awarded it.
I get you. So I heard you say that almost 300 million has been released already for the...
Approximately.
Yes, for the silting and also the
excavation, and the entire the silting, excavation, construction of drains, name it.
Okay, all of them, we've released some 300 million. Now...
has been committed.
Committed, not released? No. Okay, so let me be clear. So the people who have already started a project, they were not paid, or we have not made plans to pay them anytime soon? No, everybody who we see on site has a commencement certificate. Oh, I get Otherwise, they cannot proceed. How about those who did the desilting, those who have finished 3 months ago? Awarded. But you said they finished 3 months ago.
Yes, but that has been awarded because without it, they couldn't have started the desilting. Because where's your documents for the work? So that has been awarded, and that's what allowed them to do that. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Yes. So we're talking about two different. The desilting was done to prevent the flooding. It's done. But now we have to tackle because there are smaller drains, which have to be expanded. And that is why we are going to do all this excavation, make sure that we construct bigger drains to allow free passage of the water. And these things, albeit technical, are things that sometimes the journalists must. I think we did about, it was in April. I don't know whether Joy was there. Yes, we went around the capital city to see, to ascertain on the ground the progress of these jobs, and it was all on national telly.
I get your point. Now, if I can ask this question,
Sure.
the minister also said that the capital expenditure for the provision of the drainage and sewage to fix the recurring floods are beyond the national budget. There is therefore the need to seek outside help to address the problem. And this is Minister Atachia. Have we gotten the help to address the problem?
Yeah, you see, this is where the Conti project was initiated by the erstwhile NDC administration to start with the Conti project, which is a very major project funded by Exim Bank of the United States and Standard Chartered Bank, the tune of about approximately 700 million. But that project did not see the light of day. So that project has been terminated. And what we've done is that when we won power and went to the ministry, we decided to divide Accra into 4 areas and tackle each. And I think each area costs about $150 million. So that's what my minister is saying, that is beyond the budgetary allocation.
Okay, that's the Conti project.
No. That used to be the Conti project, but it's now we're not probably going to give it a new name, maybe a Garrett or something. We're going to find a name for it. And this is where we need outside help, like the Exim Bank of the USA or the Standard Bank of Britain, to help with funding such a major project. These projects cannot be funded through our budget. So that's what the minister meant by that. And the minister said we need something in excess of $700 million to fix permanently the drainage situation, the flooding situation in Accra.
Okay, now, do we have a national emergency flooding control program?
A national one?
Yes,
no.
Emergency national.
No, but what we have now is that the president has a master plan for the entire country where we are going to tackle drainage systems and flooding every major city in Ghana. And we are starting with Greater Accra and the Ashanti region. That's Accra proper and Kumasi proper, and then moving into the regions. Well, these are the areas where people complain of flooding the most. I think the third area that we're looking into is Takoradi, Sekedi Takoradi. So these are areas that we have earmarked, and funds are going to purposely be dedicated to it for contractors to move on site and start with the excavation and what have you.
Okay, when is that supposed to start?
That's the question. It's like asking me how long is a piece of string. I've told you that that's the master plan of government. We are seeking money. You see, we are seeking serious money to address it because our budget cannot contain these projects.
I see.
Yes. You are Ghana, sometimes you have to look at your budget. You know, if you don't have a copy, I can give you a copy.
I have a copy. I'm actually looking at one. I'm looking at your detailed budget. That's where the question is actually coming from. Another question that's related to that.
But you see, the president has gone outside of the budget to make these funds available. Because these funds were not in the budget. The funds I'm telling you here were not in the budget.
Okay.
So these are monies that the government seriously has said, look, we need to fix this problem. So Minister of Finance, I urge you to find these monies for them to fix the problem. So because our budget was about 5.5 million.
Yeah.
What can you do with 5.5 million? You can't even do the something with that, let alone talk about excavation. You see, so Raymond, sometimes you have to refer to some of us. You know, I know you have to do your job by the serious questions and hard questions and what have you, but sometimes the reality on the ground is that Ghana is poor.
Really?
That's the reality. Yes, that's the reality on the ground. We are poor because our budget is about 40% donor funded. I'm sure you know that. So there are no monies, and I can state here now that between 7th of December 2016 and 7th of January 2017, when Ghana was expecting a president-elect to be sworn in, the amount of money that left our coffers in this country is mind-boggling.
How much are we talking about?
You and go and find out. Go to controller.
You can't make the claim and then ask me to proceed to go and
but sometimes I want you also to do your research.
No. This is your claim. Back your claim with evidence.
I'm saying millions of Ghana cedis.
How much specifically?
Well, Raymond, let's tackle you. I'm here.
No, but yes, you raise an issue that's going to the funding of these projects and the lack of money in this case. And you make a categorical
what I can
claim.
Tell you,
yes.
What I can tell you is that we inherited an empty coffer. Secondly, a poverty arrangement that has never been bequeathed to any administration in the history of this country.
My difficulty is that You made a specific claim that between December 7 and January 7, when they handed the
I'm not going to give you that answer. You're not going to find out as a journalist. It's your job. It's not my job. I've told you. The figures, you can find the auditor's report. You can find it everywhere.
Which auditor's report?
Evans, am I here to teach you?
No, which auditor's report?
You can find 2016, 2017, and I know the 2018. So you can find and look at the figures.
2018 auditor's report.
I gave you 3 years, so don't just go by 2018. I say you can find, I don't know if 2018 is out, but 2016, 2017, you can grab a copy. And then you can call me here and then we can tell you the figures.
Of the MDA's budget?
Yes. That's what talks about that. What does the report talk about?
Let's be clear. Which ministries incurred this huge debt you're talking about?
My ministry alone, I can tell you for free, Evans. We've never awarded a single project, like sea defense project. These are the big projects that we award. And my ministry has paid this of $60 million in terms of payments, right, to contractors, right?
I get you.
Yes, but still millions of, if you want to quantify in dollars or cedis, left our coffers before President Akufo-Addo was sworn in.
And this happened between December 7 and January 7.
Yes, when clearly our opponents saw that they had lost the election.
Yes, because I'm actually taking a break. I just want to give you a final opportunity to state the categorical amount in this case.
I'm not going to state it. I've told you that I've given you a reference point. Why do you want me to do your work for you? My job here is to talk about flooding and stuff. That's why I'm here. Your job is that I've given you the reference points. So you can grab these materials and do a serious research.
There's a very simple general principle that you are alleging. You was the one to provide the proof.
But
I do not have to necessarily do your job of providing the proof
But
for you.
I'm also alleging, and I'm also giving you a reference point. That if you go,
but it's easy to tell me the figure.
My head, yes. I cannot say it's 60.
Oh, you don't know the figure?
I know the figures, but I cannot add them all up. That's why I'm trying to say that our reference point is the Auditor's General's report.
I get you. After this break, we'll continue our conversation with the Honorable Deputy Minister for Works and Housing on fixing permanently the flooding problem in Accra.
That's why I'm here.
We'll continue the conversation after this break. You're welcome back. This is Upfront. My name is Raymond Akwa. My guest today is Deputy Minister for Works and Housing, the Honorable Eugene Boakye Antwi, and he's also the Member of Parliament for Subin in the Ashanti region. Now, our conversation is, we've had a lot of talk about fixing the problem. Today, we are taking stock. What exactly has been done is being done. Does it look like it's going to fix the problem going forward? And that's the conversation I'm having with the honorable member. And of course, I mean, so far he is saying that some almost 300 million has been committed to fixing perennial flooding here in Accra.
We've also closed some dam sites. Dam sites in the central part of Accra, which were finding the refuse were finding its way into these drains and what have you. We've also closed a few. And the Oponglo, Ridge, Malam Junction, and the rest. So these are all steps that we're taking well ahead of the rains. And that is where you must commend us for taking these bold initiatives.
I would have done so. I mean, if the death of Dr. Heffron did not happen. So
Dr. Heffron, what's her name?
It's Aya Heffron.
Oh, so yes. The surname is Heffron.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And you know, even if you've done a good job, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. The reality on the ground is what testifies to that.
But I mean, when I saw, I think the exact location of the accident has caved in. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Due to heavy rains, I'm sure she probably lost control of the wheel. I don't know. But it's unfortunate, like I said, for a 32-year-old promising medical doctor to lose a life in this manner. And I really, if the parents are watching or if any relatives are watching, I really, on behalf of government and the people of Ghana, express our deepest sense of gratitude to the families. And we do our best, to support them in this period of mourning, But, these steps have been taken, you see. And what I'm also suggesting is that the media must help us in this fight. The littering, the dumping of refuse, and all that, we are committed to building covered drains. We don't want drains to be opened up.
Okay.
Where people can drop. And I think if you go to Nima, Kaukuri Junction, you can see what I'm talking about. It's a covered drain coming alongside the road. But I think for some reason they've sort of stopped the construction. And my minister is, 100% fully behind the covered drains so that we don't drop things, as we walk by in them. Because these are we get choke gutters. The river, the water can get anywhere to pass. And then they end up flooding the capital city. And these are all major steps that we're taking well ahead of the rainy season. And we are also, once finance gives us a commercial certificate to start work, we're also going to proceed with the excavation. And I can assure you, like Riley said, we are just going to make a strong case for sole sourcing so that we don't have to delay. We sort of move straight into the country and start tackling the excavation. So maybe next year, I won't be here talking about this. I'll be here talking about, other things.
Okay, but there's a point I need to ask you about. What is the Emergency National Flood Control Program? What is that?
The Emergency National, I think, when you say national, you say Accra. Because okay. The problem is more Accra than anywhere.
Okay.
I don't think we are serious flooding in other regions. Accra, I think, is a low-lying region, and that is why we face these situations. The illegal building on waterways and unauthorized places, also the cause for concern.
I did hear you say that the Monday's rainfall and the flood in that occasion was largely due to rising sea levels. I mean, not because government has not done anything about it.
No. You can see because it has been raining for 2 months,
Yes.
Raymond.
And that was extraordinary.
15 times. You can call the man you mentioned his name, the meteorologist.
Yes.
He would give you the number of times that it's raining this year. 15 times.
Okay.
But the only unfortunate time is when we lost Dr. Hayfron. May he so rest in perfect peace. And secondly, when there was this rising sea level.
Okay.
Which occasioned that. Well, 15 times. Haven't you done well?
Can we do anything about the rising sea levels? Can we do any form of mitigation measure? No, I'm asking
go into the Bible and ask Noah.
No, I'm asking preparedness. I'm not saying that the sea levels are not going to rise.
What's going to find the sea now?
They would necessarily rise. Can we be prepared in a way to mitigate damage that will come from that?
The only way you can mitigate the sea from rising is not allowing your water to flow into it. That's the only way. And where is the water going to go? Also, on the Crapping Ridge, when the rain falls, there used to be reservoirs we used to store the rain, then later on pass it on. But now, as we speak, my brother, all those areas have been encroached upon. You see, so is the mentality of the Ghanaian too here, that all these things were thought through and planned. But for some reason, people are just breaking the law with impunity. And this is what is occasioning all of this flooding in and otherwise not flood-prone areas.
So if the kind of rainfall we had on Monday happens again, we'll have the same problem?
I doubt it.
Why?
Well, that time the sea would have probably cleared up a bit. And why should it be tempting fate?
No, I'm just asking.
No, you shouldn't be tempting fate.
Sorry, it's possible.
But you are tempting fate.
Indeed, the meteorological agency indicated that there's going to be worse rainfall numbers.
No,
I'm not related to him, but do you doubt his, what they call it, status and knowledge on these matters?
I will not
do you doubt the ability to forecast the rains in a way?
I will not doubt anybody's ability to do anything.
Yes, but I'm saying that they say we should expect worse rainfall patterns, and I'm asking specifically, if it happens that way, are we prepared to deal with it?
We are more than prepared.
How?
We are more than prepared. Yeah, I've told you that.
No, hold on. Are you still talking about the drains and the other things which happen?
No, I've told you about the desilting. You see, the flooding is not to do with the excavation. The flooding is to do with the desilting. Well, when the gutters are choked, that's when it's flat.
But we are done desilting, and yet Monday's own happened.
Because of the rising sea level.
And we are not guaranteed that the sea level will not rise in the next couple of days.
That, you have to consult Noah, the biblical Noah, on that. You ask to nature, I can determine nature. But what I can say is what we can control.
The rate at which sea levels rise is actually determined scientifically. It's known, it's forecasted all the time.
Okay, so maybe you may have to contact your man at Meteorological Services for him to brief us.
I'm telling you that they've stated that it is not impossible for that to happen in the couple of days coming.
But I can assure you that we are prepared because we've done the certain, and I believe that whatever rains that fall upon us, and I'm sure that I don't think what happened on Monday night, early hours of Tuesday, is something that we are going to face again. And I'm not tempting fate. I'm just hopeful I don't have. But if it does happen, I'm sure that steps will be taken. From now, between now and then, will be taken to address that situation.
So beyond the desilting and the construction and the dredging, that's also currently ongoing. Odona.
I don't know Accra well.
I don't dredge masters on Odona currently.
They are going towards Kolebu.
Yes.
That stretch. Yeah. On the left.
Okay.
Have you seen them there?
No, I've not seen them there.
Oh,
they are also dredging.
Oh yeah, dredging. It's been ongoing. Hasn't stopped. It's been ongoing. Dredge masters. They are there.
Honorable, my final question to you is that if Monday is repeated on this particular issue, if Monday is repeated, what is the guarantee that we will not have what happened in the devastation, in the deaths recorded, repeating itself? That assurance is what I want you to give.
So far, it's only one death. So don't say deaths recorded. Or do you know of any other death that I don't know of?
Oh, we've heard of two. If
Where?
not two others too.
Where?
You've not heard them?
No, I'm asking where. Accra?
No, across the country. Oh, you're only saying Accra.
No, because I thought Dr.
Yes, UPfront is not the only one. We understand that two others happened in Kumasi too.
Oh,
and
really?
there are also 5 others that actually be recorded.
5 others?
Yes.
So we're talking about...
In fact, NADMO is reporting these figures, not from us, really.
No, I'm not saying... Oh, no.
Yes.
Hey,
no, I want to be clear that I am not the source of the information.
No, I know you are not the source.
Yes.
Because I can be the source in Kumasi. You're not there.
NADMO is the one saying so.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying, can you give assurance to the people that when we have that kind of rainfall, we will not have the kind of devastation that we had.
Oh, yes. And I think NADMO is another institution that's also seriously working at tackling these emergencies. And I believe that between Monday to date, I'm sure they've been to site to check whether these gutters need redesilting or they've been desilted, and or probably also go to the extent of finding out the reasons why, especially Adabraka, got flooded.
Okay. The 5.5 million that was dedicated for the national, what they call it, flood control program, has it been used?
That was the first 5.5, and there's been a second 5.5. There's a 17.5, and then there's a 194.5 coming. Okay. That's for the excavation.
Okay. Now I want to run through a couple of projects because I have less than 10 minutes to run.
But you said it's your final question, but you're going on questions.
No. I'll say on the direct issue to do with what happened on Monday. Hey, I have other questions related to this. The other questions related to them is that the Accra River Drainage Project, we dedicated some 1 million as in committed to that project. Accra River Drainage Project, which is supposed to be at the Osu Clote. When is it going to happen?
Is that the World Bank one you're talking about? 1 million?
Yes, 1 million Ghana cedis is what is in the budget in specific code 3214414 for it. The detailed budget from your ministry.
No, I know that. But what I'm trying to say is that maybe it's a couple of drains that have been lumped into one within one area. So that's why
I want status of it. That's what I want to know.
No, but that's what I'm saying, because maybe there are about 4 different major drains that have been put into one and given a name. You see, so it's good for me to say. It's good for me to say, and I don't want to.
There is the Onyasia Upstream Drain Development Project too. What's the status of that particular project?
These are you see, I told you that the county has been terminated, and Accra has been divided into 4. Yeah. So the Onyasia, Olukpahwe, Bale, Langa is not good, and Lafa. These are the 4 key points. They're, like I said, the tributaries into the main river, and these are the each of them will cost $150 million, and this is what we are going to seek external help to help excavate and construct major drains so that the rivers can get access into the sea when it rains. So
forgive me, what's the 500,000 that we have dedicated to supposed to do?
If 500,000?
Yes, that's what the budgetary allocation stipulates is supposed to be
to
the cost of the project. That is the Onyasia Upstream Drain Development Project. We put 500,000 cedis by it.
So it's also excavation. Why do you see quantums of money like that? It's to do with excavation.
Okay, not construction of drains.
What's your understanding of construction of drains and excavation?
No, hold on. I mean, you are saying that it's excavation.
So I'm asking, what's your understanding of the two?
I don't understand what the question.
I'm asking what the distinction between excavation of drains and construction of drains.
I mean, you should answer the question. You are in the ministry.
No, I'm asking you because you are saying the same thing.
No, hold on. No, I'm not saying the same thing. I'm saying that I asked a question about what's happening to that project. And you are saying that whenever I hear or see 500,000.
Now, when you hear big money that is to do with the construction of the drains, these are big drains, like storm drains and what have you.
Yes.
That big storm to allow access into into the sea.
Okay, no, there are other drains that want to be clear in my mind, whether there's project that's already happened. There's one called Mamahuma Storm Water Drainage System. Is it also part of the ones that you spoke about?
Most of these projects have been captured in the 194 million that is coming. Most of these projects have been broken down, right, and captured. Well, so unfortunately, I didn't bring it, but tomorrow morning, I can make a copy available to you so that you have a list of all the areas, every region across the country.
Yeah, I see your point. It's part of the amount of money involved. And that means that none of them are started, to be fair.
No, I'm saying that some of these projects have been broken down and captured in the 194 so that we can tackle all the major drains that cause flooding. You understand? But I don't have the list here with me. So I didn't show. I'm not, when you send me the questions, I was not too sure we're going to go there. So I didn't bring them with me.
But these are the projects you seek to use to prevent the flooding, and that's how it's captioned. The National Flood Control Programs, right?
I need to know the areas. I mean, if you have mentioned Onyasia, I've gone to and say Onyasia is somewhere here. So these are the projects. Then I'll mention them to you.
Yes. Because you mentioned some of the, the Adentan projects, which of the projects is it under? The Adentan, what they call it, drainage project?
I said we are tackling major projects in the capital city. And all these projects are captured. So they are on their own. Are you with me? But because I don't have a document with me now, it's practically impossible for me to state that this belongs, that belongs, because that will not be telling the truth. Because I don't have it with me. But I said the document is ready and I can make it available to you. So that next time when I come, if you're going to invite me here again,
which I'll be doing more often. You know you are my good friend, so it's Friday.
So then we can then take it one by one, and then let viewers know. But I've taken most of it in what I said, but majority of it too are in the other document.
The sea defense projects across the country, how far with them?
Oh, the sea defense, almost all of them are completed, apart from one or two.
Commander Sea Defense Project?
No, that's about to be awarded.
That's about to be awarded.
We have not awarded that one.
Okay, that's.
But the ones that we inherited, most of it are in, apart from Blikuso, we get about 45% completion rate. All the others 60, 70, some of them are even handed over.
How about Ningo Pram?
You're going to be awarded.
So 2 yet to be awarded?
More than 2. If you mention them, I'll let you know. If it's works wrong, then I'll let you know. If it's going to be awarded, I'll let you know.
Okay, but the final words I want to hear from you is the understanding that people have that we consistently talk about doing things and a whole government tenure may end, and yet the projects might not be completed. They may be abandoned, like we had Conti and all the talk about Conti. We ended up only doing dredging. I remember in the final year of Okuvadapoy as mayor of Accra, he said we had done 65% of the dredging. Indeed, the complaint then was that a few weeks after that, it was terrible. There was yes. So that's what makes people have difficulties appreciating when people in office and authority like you make these commitments. Can you assure the people that all of these projects will result in the complete stop of the perennial flood in Accra?
That is the intention of government. And that is why serious ones have been committed to it. You can check the history of budgetary allocation vis-a-vis the silting excavation in the ministry for the last 10 years. It's the first time government has shown serious commitment by devoting huge sums of money to tackle these things once and for all. You can check.
I'll take the very last words from you before we run up on this particular conversation.
Well, first of all, let me once again also wish Dr. Anya Hefron's parents, family, relatives, loved ones, a very unfortunate situation has taken place in our country, and I'm sure that government will take steps to help the family through this period of mourning. Secondly, the UPfront administration has taken steps to ensure that loss of life and loss of property will be a thing of past under his presidency. And you can see that serious monies have been devoted to these projects. We are waiting for contractors to move to site to start with serious construction of major drains and what have you, which I believe will end this perennial flooding.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. The Honorable Deputy Minister of Water, Works and Housing, it used to be that ministry, was my guest on our front today. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition.